Good morning. It's not even 4 a.m. Sean and I had a terrible night's sleep, so we both woke up around 2:45 a.m., got everything packed. We are downing Red Bulls to wake us up and get us to the airport. I'm going to eat a protein muffin, and today is the day before my competition. So we're gonna fly to Orlando. I'm gonna have today to prep the last little bits for my competition, and then Saturday is go time. But first, we're gonna eat this muffin. We're gonna get in the car. See you at the airport. Hi.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Great, thank you.
Good. Thank you.
From the flight deck, welcome aboard. I'm your Captain Steve up front with Ben on our way over to Orlando. I do apologize for a little bit of a delay getting out of here. There was a light bulb that was burned out. Maintenance came out and fixed that up for us and fixed the paperwork so we could get on out of here. So we're just finishing up a few things here at the flight deck, running our checklist, and we'll be pushing back up the gate here momentarily. Arriving in Orlando, should be just about on time. Current weather there is 75 degrees, clear skies, 10 miles of visibility.
We just made it to Florida. We picked up our rental car back there, and now Sean's taking me to his old stomping grounds.
I didn't stomp around here.
For anyone who hasn't had Tijuana Flats, what's the best thing to get here?
It's all
Quesadilla.
good. The queso.
The queso. You guys, this is my hand, and that's the burrito.
You wanted Hardy.
I wanted hearty for sure. Oh my gosh. I need to carb up for tomorrow, but oh my goodness. Cheers. Cheers. Welcome to Florida. We made it to our hotel room after we ate lunch. Sean's still sleeping, but I'll give you a room tour in a minute. It is pouring, so when we got here before our nap, there were tons of people in the pool, and that's a cool lazy river that we may be able to check out tomorrow. But it is pouring. And then Disney is actually in the distance, so if it stops raining, we'll be able to see the fireworks tonight, I hope. But everyone at Disney right now is probably running from the rain. It's officially time for pole testing, so we are headed to the venue, and I'm gonna have about 5 minutes when it's my turn to run a few pieces in my routine, get comfortable with the stage, get comfortable with the venue, and hopefully it will help settle my nerves a little bit. But our family's here, and we'll have some friends in the crowd, and I am just so excited for tomorrow, and nervous and scared, but really, really excited. My stomach isn't doing that well, but it happens when I get nervous. But I'm really hungry too. You would think that 800-calorie burrito would fill me up, but it didn't. I'm very hungry. But I'm gonna have Sean hold the camera while I do a few little pieces of my combo, and I will recap you guys when I'm done. How y'all doing? Good, how are you? Oh my goodness. There's the stage. We just got back to the hotel room, and the firework display was going on while we were driving back, and I may have just missed it. Let's recap how I'm feeling now after running my piece. So I thought I was supposed to be there way earlier than I actually needed to be, but that put me in a good position to be able to be the first person to pole test. So I got up on stage, and there wasn't a major line, so I didn't have a bunch of competitors watching me or anything. And I got up, and I hit all my pieces that I needed to, and I'm just feeling much better. I'm feeling much more at peace. I'll probably have another spike of nervousness and adrenaline and endurance, or not endurance, anxiety tomorrow, but it's 9:30, so I'm going to shower, I'm gonna go to bed, I'm gonna wake up around 5, start my hair, start my makeup, everything. I can't believe tomorrow is finally here. I'll see you guys in the morning. Good morning. It is 6:17 a.m. I did set 2 alarms for me to wake up much earlier this morning. I set one for 5:05 and 5:30, and I was really nervous that I wouldn't be able to sleep much last night at all. I was gonna like be in my head, but I slept so good. And then I guess when my alarms went off, I completely canceled my alarms and then fell back into a deeper sleep and had a very vivid dream. Not about the competition, it was about my dog. I am ready. I've got one of my Pole Studio shirts on. I've got my sweatpants, my slides, my X-Pole bag that they gave me at registration yesterday. And we are about 16 minutes away from the venue. I'm about to go in like 6-7 minutes. Wish me luck. This was my view right before I performed on stage, and I just got a little sneak peek of the judges. And then here is a clip that my sister-in-law took. There's my family, my friends. And this is me bowing in front of the judges and the audience, getting ready to start my routine. I'm not including many clips of this day in this video just because I did have some things that happened on stage, and although the most important thing is that no one got hurt, I still am processing what happened and trying to learn from it. And there were definitely tears, there was definitely sadness and a lot of emotion, but I am a better athlete for it, and I will always remember this performance, even though it's hard to relive. But you know what? I went out there, I did my best, and it can't always be your day. We are officially back in Texas. The competition is over. I'm going to get into my experience, my story of everything that took place at the competition, and tell you about some unfortunate lessons that I had to learn. I definitely wasn't expecting the competition or this video to end the way that it is and did, but we'll get into all that. I talked to you guys a little bit before the competition and right before I went on, and I was feeling so confident. Like the entire morning, yes, I was nervous, but I was feeling so confident. I had family in the crowd. I had friends in the crowd, friends that drove, 2+ hours to come and see me live. In the morning before it was my time to compete, I was warming up around several competitors where it was their first time competing, and they were super nervous and they didn't know what to expect. And I just felt like I was just everybody's cheerleader, and I was hyping everybody up, and I was telling them like how amazing it is once you step on stage, and I just felt so confident and so good. And so it's finally my time to compete. I stepped on stage and I was feeling so good. I locked eyes with the crowd immediately. I took a bow. I could just feel the vibe was just so good in that room. And I just felt like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna kill it. Like, I'm giving everybody a show. I'm gonna make my family and friends proud in the crowd. Like, I'm gonna do this. The music starts. I go into my first combo, and the crowd is like loving it. I'm loving it. I'm feeling so good, and I'm hitting everything. And I'm doing everything that I've been practicing for months and months and months and months. So I started on static, which means my pole does not spin. And then I make my way over to my spin pole, and I am ready to go into my first spin pass. And this is a spin pass that I have been drilling and drilling and drilling for months. I mean, I'm talking, you know, since close to December. I've been drilling this to make it perfect. And this is like one of my favorite parts of my routine, and I just love it so much. And so I was so excited to, you know, get into all of my tricks. So I start my spin pass, I climb up, and I invert, which means I go upside down, and then I'm supposed to hook one of my legs to the pole for an anchor point so I don't fall. I didn't push my hips up far enough over my hand, so my hand got caught underneath my leg. I had also put layers and layers and layers and layers of grip on my hands so that it didn't matter how sweaty I was, how nervous I was, I would be able to, like, you know, grip the pole and feel very, very confident that I could continue my routine. I realized that I was way too grippy. So not only was I in a bad position for safety reasons, but also I was so glued to the pole that it was hard for me to shuffle around to get in the right spot. So one, I didn't fall, and then of course two, I could continue my combo with no issues. So at this point, I'm very aware that something is wrong and I'm not prepared for it. I have never messed up this bad in the studio, so I didn't really know how to shuffle. So I was able to go into one trick where I go into a little bit of a splitty move, but I knew that after I hit this trick, it was gonna be a hot mess to try and reset myself and try to not totally come down and then have to restart my combo and everything. I flailed around basically trying to get into the right position to where if I go into my next trick, I wouldn't fall. And it lasted in my head, probably, it felt like 5 minutes, but in reality it was probably like 8 seconds of like flailing around. But I knew, and the crowd knew, that like something was wrong and I wasn't supposed to do that in my routine. I finally was able to reset after a clear struggle, and I went into the rest of my combo for that pass. I made it to the floor, and then I was just totally in shock. I just like did not know where I was in the song. I didn't know, I couldn't get my mind off of like how bad that looked to everybody and how embarrassing it was that I like just did that in front of my friends and family and the judges. Something that's kind of a no in performing is stopping. Like, you're supposed to hop back into something and improvise because no one really knows your routine in the crowd, right? You just, even if you just made it up on the fly, you know, you just kept going with the music. I was so like confused and like, what the heck just happened and how do I recover from this? And, you know, so I basically made it to the floor and I was like, I'm walking off stage. Like, I just literally stopped my performance and I was like, I'm walking off stage. Like, this is so embarrassing. My performance is like ruined. I'm just like, this is so disappointing. But then I realized that if I walked off stage, there was a 99.9% chance that they weren't gonna let me restart because it's competition. So I would basically like forfeited. So I was like, okay, gather yourself. So then the crowd starts cheering me on and is like, you know, don't give up, keep going, keep going. And so I'm like, okay. So I gather myself enough to continue my piece and run the second half of my routine. And I wasn't off beat at all. I hit everything I was supposed to. I did all my tricks just like I had practiced, but my energy was just completely like sucked out of me. And I was just like, I just want to get off stage. I just want to get off stage. Like, just like get this over, get this over, get this over. My song ends, I stand up, I take a bow, and the whole time I'm just like, don't cry, don't let them see you cry, don't let them see you cry, don't let them see you cry, like, keep it together, hold a smile, hold a smile. And I just needed to get to that first step that's right off of the side of the stage where they can't see me. So I got to the first step, and then I immediately just started bawling. I literally, like, I think I kind of dropped down to the fetal position almost, and I know it sounds dramatic. I gather myself after, you know, breaking down a little bit backstage, and there was a sweet competitor. She was so sweet. She was in my division and she was going after me, and she was like, look, I know this sounds strange, but you know, you have won the last 3 competitions. I've seen you, I've stalked your Instagram, and if anything, you were my biggest competition, and you know, just know like that it was still amazing, and it was just so sweet. I went into the bathroom and I took off my costume, and I just, you know, told my husband Sean, I was like, look, like I just need to, let's just like go back to the hotel. I was able to pull my emotions together enough to have lunch with some of our friends, and then my in-laws and my sister-in-law, and you know, they were hyping me up the entire time. They were so supportive and so sweet and so patient and gentle with me. And then right as I got back to the hotel, that's when I immediately just like started bawling again, and I called my coaches. I've got an amazing circle of coaches that have helped me with all of my competition so far, and they all had great things to say to kind of keep my chin up and help me, you know, but I also had to process those emotions, and I'm still like, now, you know, I kind of want to cry right now, but like I'm not, because it's not going to change what happened, and I'm just going to grow from it and learn from it. We ended up going and watching the level 4s and 5s compete that night, and I'm so glad I did that. I'm so glad I just didn't like stay in the hotel room or not go back to the competition, because that was just so motivating for me to see these amazing competitors and athletes. Just, you know, I'm sure they've had hard days like this too, and some of them were so amazing, and some of them even missed some of their tricks or didn't hit the tricks that they were trying to hit during their routine, but they recovered super well. And you know, it just reminded me that like I'm not a robot. I want everything to be perfect all the time, and it's just not going to be perfect all the time. And I just put so much unrealistic pressure on myself and my routine. And I think because I've had so much success in the last 2 years with the competitions that I've competed in, I just put really unrealistic expectations on this whole process. I forgot to have fun. Like literally, I'm now gonna go look back at my competition prep video that I posted before this one, because I'm now realizing that every single time I turn on the camera, basically, I would mention how nervous I was and how like it was ruining my sleep, and it was coming into my dreams, and it was making me anxious. And like, that's not why I'm doing this sport. That's not why I'm competing in this sport. I do it because I love it, and I just forgot, you know? So maybe I needed this humbling experience. It's definitely helping me grow, and I need another bite of this sandwich. I'm giving myself till Saturday, so a week from the competition, to see if I would like to compete one more time this year. And it would be in a city that Sean and I have never been to, and we would like to see, so we could knock 2 birds out with one stone with a little weekend trip. But I'm not committing to anything today. I'll commit to something on Saturday. But I just love my routine so much. I'm so proud of it. I've spent so much time and effort and had so many feelings with it, and it's grown so much since I started working on it, and I'm just so proud of it. And I think that it deserves to be performed again one more time before I retire it. So I'm leaning towards performing again this year and competing at another competition before the year ends, but we will see. So I'm gonna eat this, and then I'm gonna go grab my Humphreys yogurt, and we will wrap up this vlog. I grabbed a blanket because I knew I would become very cold after eating this, but this makes everything so much better. I feel like I'm in a much better mood after that first bite. So cheers to that. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.